Hello and welcome, family, to Dr. Mumbi Spirituals. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. You know, a lot of people have bought into the story that the people who are rich, or the most of the people who are rich and powerful, who have made it to top CEO positions, who have made it into these political, MPs and governors and all these things, that they just happened to get there. Maybe they had a prayer group, they had international denomination services and things like that. The truth is, family, the world that we see is run by the unseen. And not the majority of our leaders, our politicians, our CEOs belong to brotherhoods and secret societies where they manipulate the unseen so that they can be in positions of power in the seen. And everything is run by energy, family. And one of the biggest way that these guys do it, because these guys are worshiping the Canaanite gods of like Mammon, who loved the sacrifice. And so a lot of these politicians and powerful people, family, often sacrifice a child. And I know many of you have probably heard about this before, but it's not the way you think about it. Usually they will sacrifice that child's destiny. So if you're a woman and you're taken as now the seat of the family wealth or the seat of the family power, which means that your energy and your power is what is going to be used to make the family wealthy at the expense of you living your life. So you'll find like a lot of people who have been chosen as this sacrifice for their families, they never get married, they never have children, they're never able to build any career, they're never able to really have any money. Most of them find themselves totally dependent on their families for their survival, whether it's as a baller or as a poor person, you're still reliant on someone else. Most are never able to build any kind of friendships. It all circles around the family. And this is what happens. So you'll find a lot of these extremely wealthy families. They either have one child who's like the problem child, who like acts crazy, who acts mad, but the parents almost tolerate it. Some even have to have assisted care because they are now the seat of prosperity and power for their family. And so they have been spiritually hijacked and sacrificed in terms of their energy to feed a jinn or an entity that will now service the family, bring them the wealth, bring them the career opportunities. Now, when you go up the ladder to the presidential levels, family, there are families like this one of the mother of the nation, where they sacrifice the entire destiny of all the women in the bloodline. All the women in the bloodline have to be sacrificed for them to be able to sustain. Imagine a title as Mother of the Nation. You're known as the Mother of the Nation. And all public positions are given by occult practices. So they have to sacrifice. So if you look at her family, if you ever go and observe her family, her grandchildren, her extended family, you'll find a lot of the women are single mothers, never got married. All their relationships were sacrificed. Pop! A lot of them never got careers. They're working somehow within the family, so they're constantly connected. A lot of them are now even living together because they have been a collective sacrifice for the family wealth, for the family name, for the family power, because it's all energy. So when you see these rich families, family, a lot of their loved ones are in prisons of their own mind, of their own spirit, that they're not even aware of. A lot of them don't even know they've been sacrificed, and yet they've had problematic relationships all their lives. They've never been able to keep a job. They've never even been able to keep friendships because all of that was sacrificed for the greater good. of the mother of the nation, as an example. As an example. And it goes for the men as well. Where if you'll find that the men of a family, when they're the ones that have been sacrificed, a lot of the men die young. A lot of the men are either alcoholics and all these things. But the biggest one for men is men dying young. From things like, generational curses like diabetes, high blood pressure, and all those things. So don't admire these power families, because they have made decisions for the generations that have not even been born to keep their altar alive. And if you were a black sheep and someone tried to do this to you, you are highly favored, because we happen to be in the age of revelation. So if this rings a bell and feels real for you, then you've just broken that spell over your life. And it's never too late, because time really doesn't exist. So you can call back all your money, your beautiful relationships, your husband or wife, the children you were supposed to have, the amazing life you always thought you'd have as a child. You can call it all back and still live it, because we are at the end of the Roman era. ERROR. Everything is energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. They took it from you to give it to the family. You can call it back. And you should call it back, because you deserve to live your best life.